Yep. Alright, so it's been brought to my attention that I use colorful language, I swear too much, so I'll try to curb that. 20 years in the Navy and I've got a foul mouth, I admit it, so I do apologize if I have offended anybody. I kind of thought that my language wasn't colorful, but more kind of a grayscale or a sepia tone, so I'll try to curb myself back. So, what I've done, I let the dust and the air settle out overnight. I have tack clothed my body and body panels. This gets it as dust free as it possibly can get. I took great care. It took about 45 minutes to tack cloth everything down. I tack cloth the body panels and so forth. As you can see, I've taped up the doors so I don't inadvertently paint over the work I've already done. I've added this mason jar to the under portion of my water trap, and I've just taped it up there. I'll get 3 or 4 or 5 drips out of that thing as the system depressurizes, and it depressurizes because I have a leak in the fitting there. I think you can kind of hear it. Yeah, just a little bit. I'm going to replace that fitting once I'm done painting. That's the last thing I was going to do. So the tiny amount of water that comes out of that thing, out of the exit orifice or whatever you call it, drain, isn't enough to pull down that mason jar. But there we go. I've got the hose strung up over a hook, over another hook, and down. This allows me a good length of hose to go back and forth as I need to without dragging it across things. I've done that before. I have taken my little half gallon of paint, this thing, and I have dropped it into this thing, and they're the same color, so no big deal. Same mixture, no big deal. I was more concerned about getting enough paint, 1, and 2, making sure that everything was, no kidding, the same match color. I've dealt with that before. Right out of the store, a different batch, or slightly different hue. I'm going to be mixing that stuff up, as I said yesterday, into this. This is the top of an acetone can. Acetone's long gone. Yep. And I'll mix up a good batch of that in that. I've got all my PPE ready to go. I've got my gun ready to go. I've got the lid ready to go. All I do is mix paint and get it done. Yeah, this is the culmination of, 2 years and 4 months worth of work. Much of it on the chassis, which is under covers there, and quite a bit of work prepping everything, getting rid of rust and getting rid of dents and so forth. I have resigned myself to my own stupidity or my own poor workmanship if it doesn't come out, of course, because no one else is doing it for me, but you see what I'm going with. I'm just happy to get this milestone under my belt. One more notch that I can tick off. After this, I'll probably take a hiatus from cars and work on some professional stuff, some work stuff. Maybe assemble the body or I don't know. I've got to do the brake lines and gas lines on that thing first, and then I'll put the body on. I think I'll put the body panels downstairs in my basement and let them cool their heels there while I, finish up all that stuff. So, without further ado, I'm going to get to mixing and get to painting. Okay, so not too bad. Out of my little, half a gallon or whatever it was, quarter gallon? I've got a little bit left. So more than enough for repaints and do-overs and a couple things I haven't done yet. So I'll just close that up. Empty. So I'll throw that away. And just a smidge left of my gun, so I'll get that done. So let me show you what you're looking at. I've got... I need to redo that? No, that's too much flake, I think. Okay, got even coverage on everything. Maybe redo that. Yeah. A couple of hairy moments where I thought I was going to bump into something. I might have, but I'm sure y'all didn't see it. This stuff dries pretty quickly, so happy about that. It's probably all over my face too. Saw a couple of instances of a hell of a lot of clouds. Let me close the garage door now that the stuff is kind of getting out of here. I don't want to let the heat out. Keep the cold in. Pretty glad that I had taped up the doors. You can see quite a bit of spray there. And the question is, how much am I getting on my wheels? I just don't give a shit. Because quite frankly, I'm going to be, stripping them and powder coating them if they're any good. I need to do the plinths and the, what do you call it, those things. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. I don't think. Yeah. Not bad. There's a shadow. I made zero attempt to do the underside of the intake cowling. That thing. And I made zero attempt to do these fenders. I'm going to be painting this stuff black, and it'll get covered in, what do you call it, undercoating anyway. So that'll be a future something else at some other point thing to do. Not too bad. So now I'm going to clean my gun out, and I'm going to get to the clear coat. I'm a little bit worried that I don't have enough clear coat. How much do I have in this thing? So 3/4 of a gallon. Well, it should do me. So I hope it does. Yeah, so I may concentrate on doing my my body tub and everything except the big fenders, and just buying more if I have to. See how that goes. It's not a bad idea. Yep. Alright, so I'm hoping my battery doesn't die. My phone is just about dead from all the videos. So I more or less put one coat of clear coat on the sides and none, of course, in the fenders, and 2 on the sills here. Not bad. I've got some buffing, a little bit of a run there. That's no big deal. That's sandable. It's not the worst of it. You can hear my shoes grip the floor with all the junk that's stuck to my sandals. Yeah, so I'm not displeased by the body. I did a good job on the body. Hood looks okay. Of course, it being a horizontal surface, of course it would. At first glance, this looks pretty darn good too. Of course it would, and then... Dang. Boy, it sure was good of me not to pull out an F-bomb there. That's sandable. I know it looks ugly as all get out, and it is, but that is sandable, and I can overcome that, so... I just don't want to have to. So far, so good. Good looking door. Except for... Yep. And another good looking door. That's all well and good. And I can overcome that too. It's ugly, but, you know, no issues. Good looking door. Heck yeah. Groove rules. It's like a Christmas cake. I got too close and put too much on is what I did. And some there too. Trunk looks good, no issues. Oh, a little bit of a bump there. Dang it. Well, too late now. And I took no effort at all at doing the front fenders. I'm going to have to buy more clear coat tomorrow and finish up. Because I am completely out, totally out. In fact, there's my little junk pile, and there she blows. I'm going to let this stuff soak overnight. Might as well use these old honey jars for something, right? Or, I'm sorry, pickles. I'm going to let that soak overnight. Not that it needs to, but you can see the junk in there. And then I'll just clean the rest of it. I've already cleaned the gun. That's done. Will I keep this? Yeah, that's the soaking thing. What do I do with the other one? Or would I keep this one? Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. Trash. I'm disappointed. Honestly, I'm disappointed at the runs. Pretty prodigious ones. They're on those 2 fenders. Honestly, I tend to think that if I had more room, if I'd given myself more room, I would not necessarily have had those runs. So, you know, I guess I could have clear-coated things separately. Well, I guess I am. You know, no kidding. So, oh well, it happens. Before I clear coat these, I'm going to have to lightly sand them and you know, make sure that the clear coat sticks to it, which is perhaps troublesome, just because I don't know how much effect I'm going to have on that flake. Guess we'll see. Guess I'll have to kind of, anyway. Oh well. So I'm disappointed by the freaking gosh darn drips there, but I've done worse. The first BMW I ever painted, it looked like a Christmas cake. I had to redo that thing a couple times, actually. My friend Amy was very good about it, but, you know, oh well. Alright, so on the upside, you can see how shiny everything looks. Let me see if I can zoom in on something here. Alright, there we go. One of the doors. Nice and shiny. And that line right through the center is not a drip. That's actually the reflect... Son of a gun. Alright, maybe bad example. This a good example? Yeah, why not? Better one. You can see how there are reflections of the light in the lights in the clear coat. This is another drip? No, bad prep. This is how it'll come out of the factory, with some orange peel, and you can see some wobbly wobblies in the reflection there. After something comes out of clear coat, it goes directly into an oven and it bakes out. All the solvents come out. It sits for another day or two and cures, and it's off to the showroom for transport. On mine, I'm going to let this stuff cure for quite some time. I'm going to do some sanding, and then I'm going to take 1500 grit sandpaper, and then probably 2000 grit sandpaper, maybe even beyond, and get the stuff as beautiful as I can. Basically, the 1500 will take down some of these runs and sags. The 2000 will take out the marks of that. Anything that go beyond 2000 will take out the marks of the previous sanding, and on until you buff it out. And that's what turns a, gosh, that's a nice looking car, into a, holy cow, that's a gorgeous car. So, and I'm looking for the gorgeous. Oh well, yep. Alright, so that's it.